I haven't done a burp intro in a while. Oh, yeah. Yes, Daddy. Hello, all you wonderful, beautiful, and craptastic people. CraptasticJack here. Today, I've got basically a storytime commentary to tell y'all about. More like a commentary about stuff that happened. And the stuff that happened occurred over the course of a couple months, so let's just get straight to the video. As you know recently, I hope most of you have, I've mentioned it a couple times on Drivecast, and I mentioned it on a tweet. Basically, I received my driver's license. This is actually about a month ago I actually got my license, and I only making a video on it now. You know, I make a channel about cars. I run a channel about cars mainly, and I just never talked about myself getting a license. So you know, good on me. I actually did try to do a IRL commentary of me driving with like my my GoPro knockoff strapped to my head while driving, but the quality with that was pretty terrible. But either way, let's get on back to the main topic. So I'm gonna start off basically by saying, over a year ago now, I actually got my permit. Basically, the way it works in Pennsylvania is go to the DMV and then you take a test there, and you have to study for your permit test. And I studied like every moment that I could, and like every day, because I had the app for it, and it was basically the same questions on the test, and I passed the test. You have to get 15 out of 18 questions on the test correct, and it's just basic stuff like what's this sign mean, what blah blah blah. And I got all 15 right the first time, so it just ended there, and I passed. And basically, I got my permit, and then we went out. I drove around. I drove everywhere. Now, one requirement that you have to reach to drive in Pennsylvania is you have to drive 65 hours. Now, that may not seem like a lot of time, but it's a lot of time. I mean, I drove to Hazleton. I drove to Philly and back. Like, that, getting to 65 hours took a lot more than 6 months, and you also have to wait 6 months in order to get from your permit to get your license. Yeah, there's a 6 months waiting period. So in 6 months, more than 6 months actually, I got my 65 hours done, and I was eligible to take my driving test in August. However, because I didn't have any of the hours, I waited till November. Actually, I had the hours done by like September, but just actually scheduling a road test is probably some of the most painstaking shit I've ever had to do. You have to basically go online, you select the DMV you want to take it at, and you know, you do tests there. It may seem simple, but it's not. Basically, you go to the DMV. Well, basically, you go on the website, and actually just trying to find a date, it's hard. I would go on there and I try and find a date, a close date to the time that I was selecting it, and all the available dates were for February of 2017, and this is in October when I'm trying to schedule my test. It took me a good 3 weeks to be able to finally schedule my road test, and it was the day before Thanksgiving, so I finally got a good date. And then, basically, I'm pretty nervous. We're coming up to the date of when I'm actually taking my test. I'm pretty nervous. I'm driving from school. We had a half day, and I'm driving from school, and I'm driving maybe 20 miles east to this place called Easton, because everyone in my school is saying how you have to take your test at Easton. It's really easy at Easton. You don't want to take it at the Allentown DMV because the Allentown DMV is pretty shit. That's what everyone's saying. I'm going to the Easton DMV. I wait maybe like 20 minutes. My turn to take the test is up. Now I'm pretty nervous. And the guy who's giving me my test, he can smell that. He can smell that I'm very anxious. And he can tell. So we go into this back alleyway, and that's where they have the parallel parking thing. If you fail your parallel parking by hitting the curb or just hitting any of the cones, you instantly fail. You don't even get to take your road test because you instantly fail. You do the parallel parking. So we actually had to get into the parallel parking spot. We had to do a U-turn. I forgot to and it was a cul-de-sac, so I figured, okay, don't really need to do my my turn signal. He marked me off for that. Okay, whatever. Going into the parallel pits, of course, remembering I'm very nervous. I don't signal going into the parallel parking. I mean, if I were to pass everything else, I still would have passed the test. But I didn't do that. I didn't signal going into it. Whatever. That's my fault because I'm anxious as shit. I get very anxious as a person. So, and I'm in the parallel parking spot, and I do it. And here's the thing that I want you guys to know: I do the parallel parking fine, aside from the signals. And I'm just there. I put it in park. I look over at the guy. This is my first time ever taking my driving test. And I look at him, I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do next? And then this asshole just turns to me and goes, "I'm not here to tell you what to do." And this just struck a nerve with me because here I am taking my test for the very first time. I don't know what to do. This guy has given how many tests in that day? He probably gave out 20 tests that day. You're kind of supposed to tell me what to do, buddy. So in a fruitless attempt to get him to do something, I reversed in the parallel parking spot. Now, no, I was fine in the parallel parking the way I was, but I reversed, and I didn't know at the time. He got out, he took a picture with his iPad, and I failed the test because I hit a parallel parking. I hit one of the cones, all because he was not satisfied with the way I parked and just refused to tell me what to do. So that struck a nerve with me very much, and that actually kind of threw me off. I kind of become really demotivated in driving and shit. And also, this is also the fact that all my friends were getting their tests and passing it easily. And here I was still on my permit. Like, they're out driving and doing all this shit, and there I am on my permit. And also, what's even worse is I have to schedule it again. And I couldn't find a date to schedule my test until, okay, so if your permit runs for a year. I got my permit the 24th of February, 2016. And that runs for 1 year before you have to extend it. Stupid ass fucking trucks. But I got that for a year, and the last and the only date available, I was checking ever since November, the date I failed my test. I tried to find a date available to take at either Easton or Allentown DMVs, or even Lehighton DMVs, any of the DMVs in my area. It took me until February till I actually got a date, and there's only one opening, and it's at the Allentown DMV, the one that everyone says is the worst place to go to get your license. It's for the 23rd of February, one day before my permit would expire, and I have to renew it. I schedule that test. I go to the place. We're in the car. Now it's weird. You have to sit outside in this special parking lot for people taking the test, and you have to wait for them to come outside and give you the test. And the guy, you could tell he didn't really want to be there. Like, he was very unenthusiastic. So I did the thing. I did the parallel parking fine. I remembered specifically to turn on my turn signals. And then we went out into this back alley road, and then went into the main highway, then back into the parking lot, and basically done. It was like 5 minutes. And it was the easiest shit. And as I finished the test, we pull into a parking spot. He just goes, "You passed, go inside." Like, the most unenthusiastic shit ever. Easiest shit. I mean, the test is, but, you know. And, yeah. That's the story of how I got my driving test. It shouldn't have taken that long to take it, though. Just scheduling. Also, I also want to point out, it said that was the only date available, and they usually run 3 tests like every 15 minutes. I get there, there's only one other person, so that means there should have been a bunch of other allotted times where people were taking a test, but none of them were available on the website. So I have no idea why, but PennDOT, you gotta fix your shit. It should not have taken me nearly 6 months just to get my license. Alright, I mean, I failed the first time, okay, but it shouldn't have taken me 3 months just to reschedule another test. That shouldn't happen. Alright guys, that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more commentaries like this, be sure to say, "Hey, I want more commentaries like this," and I'll be sure to give you some more commentaries like this. But that's all for now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Have a good one.